For months, Nintendo's next-generation console strategy has been locked inside a black box. But over the weekend, that vault cracked wide open. The silence had stretched on for so long that core fans were actually starting to lose track of massive, officially announced titles. When a post surfaced on My Nintendo News, user Sigma ZX summed up the mood perfectly. Funny that I completely forgot this game was a thing. That information drought ended completely on April 12th, thanks to an overnight data drop from Europe's video game classification board. This bureaucratic paperwork provides a direct map of Nintendo's 2026 launch schedule. A classification from a legal ratings board confirms the game has moved from an internal project to a finished product. In Europe, that regulatory hurdle is handled by PEGI, the Pan-European Game Information Board. They are a strict classification body that dictates who can legally buy a piece of software. Every game hits a hard bottleneck at the ratings board submission. On April 12th, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave received a PEGI 12+ rating. To pass, developers cannot submit incomplete builds. The game must be entirely playable with all content locked in. So Nintendo has a finished title sitting on a hard drive, but it doesn't appear to be an isolated release. Look right next to it on the very same update. Splatoon Raiders, another massive tentpole for the new console, was classified right alongside Fortune's Weave. Two flagship titles crossing the regulatory finish line back-to-back shows us exactly how Nintendo is operating. They are lining up a coordinated launch wave. Digging deeper into that Fire Emblem listing reveals a specific detail that immediately caught the community's attention: a tag indicating the game will feature DLC, or downloadable content. This instantly split the fanbase. One camp argues that a DLC tag is simply a generic placeholder applied to almost every modern release, while the other side sees it as a confirmed post-launch expansion plan. If we look at the franchise's recent track record, the evidence points heavily toward an expansion plan. Both Fire Emblem Three Houses and Fire Emblem Engage featured robust pre-planned DLC campaigns that extended their lifespans well past launch day. But the ratings drop was only the beginning. This single crack in the dam seems to have triggered a wider information leak across the board. Right as these first-party titles were being rated, reports surfaced online showing physical Switch 2 copies of the third-party title Borderlands 4 actively circulating in the wild. At the exact same time, established leakers suddenly claimed that Super Mario Maker 3 is in active development. Between the finalized software ratings, the DLC roadmaps, and the circulation of physical cartridges, the Switch 2 software library is showing every sign of a product preparing for retail. The many months of guessing dates and analyzing vague investor quotes have been replaced by concrete regulatory action. An internet rumor can be walked back or dismissed. A finalized legal classification from a European ratings board is a matter of public record. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave has effectively become the vanguard for the next hardware generation. We know from recent internal reports that Nintendo has actively been spreading fake information to identify leaks and patch up their security. However, an external public data drop from a regulatory body entirely bypasses those internal traps. The pieces are fully on the board, and the 2026 launch window is locked in. The only question left is, when the Switch 2 hits shelves, are you booting up Fire Emblem or Splatoon first?